Are you controlling alcohol or is alcohol controlling you? I want you to think about that for a second. Because before we stop drinking, we go through this phase of trying to control it. We set rules, we create limits, we tell ourselves if we can just find the right combination, we will be able to keep alcohol in our lives without any of the downsides. And I know back when I was still drinking and I was trying to control it, I did things like setting rules around how much I'd have, trying to decide when to drink and where. I had rules about what type of alcohol I could have and who I could drink with and why I could drink. Now, doesn't that sound like someone who is totally in control? I mean, I'm joking. It was me setting the rules. It was me making those decisions. I felt like I was in charge. I felt like I was controlling alcohol. But honestly, I look back now and see that I just wasn't. I mean, for the main thing, those rules didn't really work. Sometimes they would, once or twice. I would have a few wins here and there, but just not many of them. And I wanted to believe so badly that moderation was going to work for me that I kind of overlooked my success rate for a really long time. The reality was that I wasn't controlling alcohol. Alcohol was controlling me. And that was an entirely predictable outcome from using an addictive drug. I mean, you think about how we approach smoking. We don't talk about moderating that or setting rules there or being stronger. In fact, the other day I actually Googled control smoking. Yeah, that was it. And it didn't bring up anything. It just brought up the articles about stopping smoking because it's so obvious that that's what needs to happen. Anyway, that wasn't what I wanted to talk about. The fact is, when I was drinking, I spent all this time dreaming up strategies to control alcohol that failed. But the whole time I was trying to control alcohol, I didn't realize that actually alcohol was controlling me. I wasn't the one in charge. Alcohol was the boss. And as I tried to reduce the amount of alcohol that I was drinking, the mental space that alcohol took up in my head expanded. Now that one single glass of wine I was going to allow myself to have seemed extra important. And would it be one regular glass or could I use one of my big wine glasses? Should I try and make it into a spritzer? Then I could have two. Oh my God, like the thought loops I would get stuck on in my head. My actions, my thoughts, my decisions were all about alcohol, even though I was trying to have less of it and reduce its impact in my life. I was trying to consume less, but I thought about it all the time. And this is the brutal truth. If you have to control something, it's already controlling you. It already has a hold over you. And when I really got that, I didn't like that idea at all. I wanted to be in charge of my life, and I suspect that you do too. So what can you do about this? How can you get out of this stuck place? I know you're here for a reason. And I think we've got to look at why you're really here and what you want. Because so far throughout this video, I've talked a lot about managing, moderating, controlling, cutting back. Because those are the words we tend to use when it comes to this subject. But if you really think about this, what is your goal? Is it that? Is that what you want more than anything? I'm not sure it is. I think that if we take a step back here and go a layer deeper, I suspect the thing that you want more than anything is freedom. That's what I wanted. Freedom. Freedom to get out of the alcohol trap. Freedom to stop playing this exhausting control game thing. Freedom to stop thinking about alcohol all the time, to have it in my head and on my mind. So how do you get that freedom? Well, it doesn't come from learning some new trick to manage your drinking. It comes from eliminating the desire to drink itself. That's how you really take your control and freedom back. When you no longer desire alcohol, when you no longer even want to drink alcohol, then you step out of this power struggle altogether. So the next obvious question is, well, okay, Kate, how do you eliminate your desire for alcohol? Well, you do that by changing the way you think about it. Because right now, if you want to drink alcohol and you want to continue drinking, it's because you think alcohol does something for you. You think it's providing some kind of pleasure or benefit or service. And the thought of being without that seems depriving, because you think it's bringing you comfort or whatever it is. These beliefs are what keep that desire alive. But if you start questioning those beliefs, if you start looking at the science behind how alcohol actually works versus what we are conditioned to believe it does, and if you couple that with learning new ways to comfort yourself, new ways to unwind, new ways to celebrate that actually feel better than drinking, well then your desire for alcohol will disappear. And when you no longer desire alcohol, then you are truly free. Then you don't have to be good, use willpower, try hard. And that's what we do at the Sober School. This is just like a brief intro to this topic. And I wanted to share a lot more with you on it. I want to talk about really taking back control, taking your power back from alcohol. So next week, I'm going to be running some webinars. There'll be live webinars. You can come along, ask a question. I'm going to explain this topic in more detail. So I'm going to wrap up this video here, but I'll put the links to those webinars below. I'm going to do 3 of them, so hopefully you can come along at one time and let's talk about this in some more detail and help you move forward and take some next steps.